Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. On today's program, we're talking back to school. Yes, it's that time of year again, and parents and students get ready because school is right around the corner. On today's program, we're going to highlight the before and after school programs offered by the Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department, and we're also going to pinpoint at a unique event coming up, the Teen Summit. It'll be happening in late August right here in the city of Suffolk, put on by Suffolk Parks and Recreation, so we'll tell you about that great opportunity as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene, joined now by Ashley Sessoms, who's a recreation specialist with the City of Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department. Ashley, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And we're here today to talk about the Teen Summit. Now, this will be the second annual event. We had one, of course, about this time last year, and we have one coming up again this August. It'll be the 24th. But it's not just the actual event. There's also some great things leading up to it as well. And Ashley, we have you here today to talk about this.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what the Teen Summit is all about. What's the purpose of it? Why are we having one of these?
The department thought it was very important to provide the community with something that can prepare the youth and also the parents for going back to school. We definitely wanted to have this around the time that it's doing for back to school. We wanted to provide educational sessions for them that they would be able to gain some knowledge on different things that they may be dealing with.
Right.
And the department found it very important to be able to put on an event such as the one that we're doing so that they can be educated on things that we're providing. I guess we'll get more into the topics,
Sure.
but we really thought it was important.
Okay. And of course, the date for the Teen Summit is Saturday, August the 24th.
Yes.
And that'll be held where?
At Suffolk Hilton Garden Inn.
Okay.
That's where everything will be held.
Okay. And what time? What's the time frame for the event itself?
The time frame is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Registration will start at 8,
Mhm.
but the actual event will start at 9,
Okay.
and we'll run up until lunch, which will be at 12, and then we'll end around 2.
Okay. Now, if someone is interested, I know we'll talk about this probably a couple times throughout our conversation here, how can they get registered? What's the process they need to go through?
If they want to register for the program, they can actually come here to our main office. They can call us and we can give them more directions. They can visit us online, which is something new that we're doing this year, which is very convenient. They can go online to our actual Parks and Recreation website and easily just register up there.
Okay.
If they're registered as a group, we just ask if it's probably 10 or more people
Right.
that they do it on paper, and they can fax that in, or they can give us a call and we can give them better directions on how to get those group applications to us.
Okay. And of course, we'll have all that contact information on the screen throughout our conversation here again, the website address, the phone number, and everything there to provide that. Okay, well, let's talk about what's going to happen the day of. How is the day structured? And if you're going to go and participate, and let me throw one thing in here. It's not just for teens.
Nope.
So let's talk about who can attend, the age range as well, and then also let's break down the day. How's it going to work out?
The actual event, we're really excited. Last year we had 300 plus youth parents and youth providers in attendance. As the day will go on, like I said, registration will start at 8 a.m. They come in and get registered. This year we added a new component, which is our college fair component.
Nice.
And we have several universities who have already made the commitment that they're going to be there. So as they first come in, they register and get everything that they need for the day. They'll have the opportunity to visit these colleges and universities to get that information. At 9 o'clock, also breakfast will be served, and up until around 9 o'clock. And then at 9, we will start our sessions. It's for ages 11 to 17 for our youth. And then for our parents, it's 18 and up, or just for our adults, it's 18 and up. And our youth service providers, whoever, it doesn't matter. But they'll be broken down into different sessions. After registration, after visiting the college fair, participants and youth will be broken down and separated. So the parents will have and adults will have their own sessions, and then the youth will have their own sessions. We're actually breaking them down into age groups with the youth as well. So there will be different tracks for parents, adults, and youth.
Got it.
So that's some of the things that they can look forward to as the day goes by.
Now, give us an example. What some of the sessions that when you get broken down into your age groups, or how you are breaking that up, what are some of the topics and things they're going to cover?
Some of the topics, we actually have some of our returning presenters this year, but they're going to be talking on different topics for our youth. We have a man by the name of Art Powell, who used to actually was a part of a gang, and he's changed his life around. He's actually from Atlanta, Georgia, and he is a prevention specialist. He is going to be coming in and talking about criminal street gangs, and they're actually, his topic is the new millennium terrorists. He's going to be talking with our youth. We have Teens with Purpose returning again this year, and they're going to be talking about HIV and AIDS with our youth. We just thought that was a very important topic to touch on. And we're also having a panel for our boys and our girls, and we're going to be talking about college one-on-one. And we'll have different college students who either are in college now or just recently graduated. They'll be talking with our youth and kind of giving them the rundown on what college life is really like.
There you go.
Dr. Aldewan Tart will be returning. He is very, very good, and he's going to be talking to our youth this year. He talked to our parents, but this year he'll be talking to our youth about how to love, and that's basically teaching our youth what are healthy relationships, how should a young man act, how should a young woman act. We'll also be talking with our Suffolk Police Department. They'll be coming in and doing a session on drugs and alcohol, and also for our parents, we'll be having Kenny Pugh, who's coming in and talking about managing your money and why managing your money makes sense. And then Dr. Tart will also be doing another session with our parents, talking about parenting from the overflow.
Right.
Actually empowering parents to take better care of themselves first. And we'll have someone from OBC Hospital, Amy Peterson, and she's going to be talking about cancer prevention again this year.
Now, you mentioned that some of the speakers are coming back from last year. Now, if you attended last year, you can come back again, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's a good deal.
Yes.
And of course, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but what's the cost for this if someone was to participate?
It's absolutely free.
Okay, you can't beat that. And is lunch provided?
Yes.
Lunch. So you get lunch, and you also get a lot of great educational tools there. That is on Saturday. Now, one of the unique things you do is you're kind of kicking it off and building some momentum. You have a block party actually taking place the night before, correct? Talk about what's going on with that.
Well, we're having a block party again this year. It's going to be right behind the Suffolk Hilton Garden Inn, and it's going to be taking part back there in our park area. It's going to be from 6 to 9 this year,
Okay.
So there is a change in time from last year.
Right.
There's going to be a DJ, there's going to be dancing, there's going to be free food. Again, this event is free. They'll have giveaways, bounce houses, basketball. There'll be all types of games and activities that is family friendly. Okay. And it's open to the public.
And you do not need to register for that, right?
Do not.
Just show up.
Yep.
Okay.
During that night, we'll also be taking, if we still have slots open, we are filling up fast,
Okay.
but if we do have slots still open, we will be doing registration on site.
Okay. And again, the ways to register, you can call the Parks and Rec office,
Yes.
or probably maybe the best way is to go online.
Yes.
As you mentioned about that, of course, we'll have that address up. But you mentioned if you're registering as a group, it's better to really put that on paper, just because of all the names, and I'm guessing the online form probably isn't set up to handle a multitude of registrants at one time.
That's correct.
That's right. Okay. Now, what were some of the success stories or things that you heard maybe for feedback from last year that kind of led to get everything lined up for this year? Because I'm sure you take comments and think, okay, well, we did this right. We need to maybe change this a little bit or tweak it to get a better response for the people participating. What were some of the things and lessons learned maybe from last year?
We definitely got a lot of great feedback. We have individuals who wanted to spread the word, and they were talking about next year before it even happened. The fact that we were providing, as a department, providing something that was free to them, and bringing in speakers that were not only just local speakers, but national speakers at no cost to them. It was an exciting, fun. It wasn't a lot of individuals who may be watching the segment thinking educational sessions, but these were very interactive sessions that the children were really, really, really loving. And a lot of our youth feedback that we were getting is they wanted us to do more. They didn't just want it to be once a year. So as a department, we are looking at trying to provide other things throughout the year to lead up to the Teen Summit. So we did make a couple changes. We did want to add some more educational things, because last year we were really touching on the health side, which was for the parents, but this year we wanted to switch it up and make it towards our youth with the college fair. And
I think it's great that you're bringing back some young people that are already in college and experiencing this right now, as you said, to kind of give a sneak peek to what you're really going to experience. And not that you always have to have a college representative, which is great, but certainly to hear it from the people that are actually participating, I think that's really going to ring true to them, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, the community panel, with that, of course, that gives a good opportunity for some Q&A and some interaction as well. So talk a little bit about that, just that one particular part.
We thought it was really important to this year, since the youth had a panel last year, we wanted to provide the parents with that opportunity. We're looking to have some representatives from the community, someone from the police department, someone from the school system. And we also want to take Dr. Tart, Kenny Pugh, and also Art Powell, and sit them on that panel because a lot of the sessions that we have, and some feedback that we did get, is parents thought they didn't have enough time to ask those questions that they wanted. So on this panel, we want to be a wide range of topics that we can talk about, and those parents can get a little extra time to ask some questions that they may not have gotten to ask in those particular sessions.
And of course, the question that one person asked probably is something somebody else wants to know, and you just didn't think to ask it, or maybe, well, I didn't want to, so that's a good opportunity for that. Now, again, the age range for the young people that can attend, what is that range?
For our youth, it's 11 to 17.
Okay.
And for our adults, it's 18 and up.
Got it. Okay. And again, that's really whether you're a youth yourself, or a parent, or a care provider, or someone who is involved in youth services. This event is really speaking out to everyone in that category, right? Okay. And again, at the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Suffolk, and I guess it'll be in the conference center, be utilizing that part of the facility. and that's kind of to the left when you pull in there. Plenty of parking, so there'll be no problem with that. And then, of course, you mentioned the block party, which will be the night before, will be at the Concert Wharf Park, which is behind there. Again, I guess sort of like a TGIF setup
Yes,
of sorts,
exactly,
correct?
exactly.
Okay. And again, that event, as you noted, is free and open to the public?
Yes.
And I believe food is also provided
Yes,
at that
free
event?
food.
Okay, so that's and I believe you had a really big crowd out there for that last year as
did,
well. I
we
remember some
did.
of the footage that we had a chance to see, and we'll be showing that throughout here. Great participation. So what's the atmosphere like for that?
It's a, like I said, it's a family-friendly atmosphere. It's just a time for us to get excited about the upcoming morning that's
Right.
coming up, and to get people who may not have known about our event. We had people that were walking down the street and were just asking them, what's going on?
Right.
We said, just come on in. It's
Sure.
free, and they had a good time. We got great feedback from that, and people want us to continue to do those type of activities.
Indeed. And of course, Parks and Rec is really reaching out there and helping our youth and giving them some great tools to build their lives moving forward.
Yes.
Now, Ashley, we just have a couple minutes left, so what I'm going to do is give you task you with two things right now. One, if you could talk again about how to register and the good contact information there, as well as just make a last pitch that if anybody's thinking about going, not really sure, how you're going to sell them on it.
We want you to be able to come to this event and have a great opportunity, a great time to be to gain some education. Get excited about going back to school. Parents, get excited about having your kids to go back to school. Come out and have fun. Be able to take advantage of this opportunity for to gain free services. We're having giveaways. We're having a back-to-school drive as well,
Nice.
which we will be giving away back-to-school book bags and school supplies for youth that are in attendance. For the contact information, is the number to our main office is 514-7250, or you can visit us online and register that way as well on our Parks and Recreation website. But like I said, just come out and have a good time.
Right.
This is a laid-back atmosphere. We want you to have fun. We want you to spread the word, and we want you to be in attendance. And you don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm really telling you, you don't want to miss this opportunity. So.
Okay. Well, Ashley, thanks for filling us in.
you.
Looking forward to the Teen Summit, the second annual edition, and of course, more to come from Parks and Rec with this type of activity. So that'll do it for this part of On the Scene. We'll have more when we return. Welcome back to On the Scene, joined now by Tamara Brown, Recreation Supervisor with the City of Suffolk Parks and Rec Department. Tamara, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And you're here today to talk about some great opportunities for parents and care providers for before and after school care for elementary school students as well as older students within the City of Suffolk. So let's kick it off and talk about what opportunities are out there. And this year, I believe, heading in for the 2013-2014 school year, there's been a few changes to the program, both in name as well as some of the structure of things.
Yes.
So Tamara, I'm going to let you take it away. And let's start by talking about the elementary school level, where we have 4 sites for before school, 5 sites for after school, but you also have other ways you can get connected to that program. So I'll let you take it away from there.
Yes. This year we have actually changed our program. All of our before and after school programs are named Kids Zone for ages 5 through 12.
Okay.
We provide before and after school at Creekside, Northern Shores, Oakland, Mac Bean Recreation Centers, and only after school at East Suffolk Recreation Center.
Okay.
And it's from the time, because the schools has also changed their hours.
That's correct.
So we have kind of changed and revamped our hours of how we operate as well.
Okay. Now, again, you mentioned the age. The age range was from
Ages 5 through 12.
12. Okay.
Yes.
Now, as far as, of course, you mentioned the sites where the program's taking place, and you mentioned that East Suffolk, of course, is just after school.
Yes.
As far as for this school, coming school year. But if you go to another school that's not one of the ones where the activities are taking place,
Yes.
there is an opportunity still to participate, correct?
Yes, it is. If you attend Driver and Florence Bowser, then your site will be Creekside.
Okay.
We do provide transportation to and from both sites.
Okay.
Now, if you're attending East Suffolk Recreation Center, we will be providing transportation from Kilby Shores, Hill Point Elementary, Booker T. Washington Elementary, and Elephants Fork Elementary. If you would like to attend Mac Bean Recreation Center, then we will provide transportation from Nasman Parkway Elementary.
So again, the schools that are not included as far as where the sites are, you've got connections for which ones can
Yes.
feed into which particular ones,
Yes,
correct?
uh-huh.
Now, how are these programs structured? What are the time range? And again, I know because of the changes with some of the operating hours for Suffolk Public Schools with the different schools, some of that's changed as well. But when is the typical operating time for the after-school program especially?
For the after school, we start as soon as school is over with.
Okay.
And it varies because you have some schools on a schedule and some on a B schedule.
Right.
Creekside and Mac Bend pretty much are on the same schedule, and then Oakland and Northern Shores is pretty much on the same schedule.
Okay.
But once the kids get out of school, they
Right.
come straight to us. If we're picking up from the sites and we're providing transportation, then we'll be there on site for the kids
Right.
to hop on one of our vehicles
Yes,
and
ma'am.
be driven to one of our sites.
Now, of course, when they're in the program, the Kids Zone program, what kind of some of the activities that they're going to be doing?
Oh, we provide awesome activities. I can't explain to you the awesome experience that your child will receive in our
Right.
program. We try to provide a safe environment for all of the youth. They do Monday and Tuesdays. We kind of changed the structure a little bit. We wanted to provide some choice for the kids.
Right.
So maybe on Mondays and Wednesdays, it's their choice, free play. Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's clubs where you have cooking club,
Right.
dance club,
Nice.
reading club,
Right.
art and science, and math. So we just try to give a variety. And then
Right.
Friday is pretty much a free day.
Right.
We do show movies in our program, but we try to only do that once a month.
Right, okay. And again, how long do these programs run? Because obviously parents are utilizing this because they're still at work or other activities going on. When does it end on any particular day?
On a particular day, we close at 6 p.m.
You do,
Our
okay.
before school program, I do want to go back. Our
Yes,
before
ma'am.
school program, we open up at 6:30. But we send them to school, like, say for instance, one school, they go to school at 9:30.
Right.
So we're open from 6:30 to 9:30 as opposed to where we were open 6:30 to 8:30 before last
Gotcha.
year. So we open up at 6:30, we close at 6.
Okay. And again, with the before school, obviously parents would drop them off at the particular site that they're attending, but then do y'all bus them from there to the individual schools if they're going to an off-site school?
Yes.
Is that how
Now,
that
what
works?
we're trying to do,
Yes.
we haven't really did it in the past, but we're going to try and test it with Creekside, depending on the numbers.
Right.
Because we noticed that some parents, like Driver and Florence Bowser, still need that before care.
Right.
So depending on the numbers, we are able to provide transportation to Driver and Florence Bowser in
Got
the
it.
morning. Yes.
Now, if a parent is watching and would like to get their young person signed up for these programs, how would they go about doing that? What's the process?
They can contact each center, Creekside Recreation Center. You want me to give the phone numbers now?
You can, if you'd
Okay.
like. And we'll certainly have that up on the screen so you can kind of jot that down as well.
Okay. Creekside Recreation Center, Lukendra Banks is the supervisor there. Her phone number is 757-514-7245. Northern Shores Recreation Center, Lee Wilson is the supervisor. His phone number is 757-514-7249. Oakland Recreation Center is J.J. Stevens. Her phone number is 757-514-7249. McBain Recreation Center, which we are very excited because we're reopening the site this year.
Right.
Ashley Green is the site supervisor, and her phone number is 757-514-7248. And lastly, East Suffolk Recreation Center, Rebecca Skinner is the supervisor, and her phone number is 757-514-4502.
All right. Well, see, this is why we have you on the program, because you got all the information we need to know. Now, one thing we also need to talk about, what's the cost associated with it? And I believe there's kind of like a combo thing if you do it before and after school, or
Yes.
just before or just after, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We have changed our fees this year. There's a $35 registration fee per child,
Okay.
and then you do divide it up. Before school, it's $90. After school only, it's $115. Before and after school, it's $190,
And that's a month.
and that's a month.
Right. But the registration fee is, of course, just one time up
Just
front.
one time up front.
Okay.
And you cannot beat our fees anywhere. Now, Rec and Crew, which is our team program
Correct.
at Kings Fort,
Right.
their fees is $35 one-time registration fee and $35 a month.
Okay. Now, as far as let's transition to the Rec and Crew program. Talk about as far as the ages that can participate in that, and then kind of how that program is structured as well, because I'm sure it's probably a little bit different than elementary, but having some basic principles as well.
Our teen program is a little different. It's ages 11 to 17. They attend Kings Fork Middle, so once they get out of school, they come directly to our program. We have an awesome staff out there. We try to maintain ratio, of course, and they can provide, their activities are a little different. Ashley Sessoms is the site supervisor at Kings Fork. Her phone number is 757-514-7247.
Right.
And she provides an array of activities. She has speakers come in to provide prevention activities strictly for teens. We
Right.
try to make that program structured just for teens.
Correct. Correct.
They participate in tournaments. They may go on field trips on half days,
Very nice.
but we provide an array of activities.
Now, is that a before and after school or just after school?
That's just after school.
Just after school,
Yes.
okay. Now, if you attend another school other than Kings Fork Middle, is there an opportunity for you to be transported there, or how's that set up?
At this time, we only have them coming from Kings Fork.
Okay.
We haven't had anyone, asking questions. But if they do, if they're looking for that,
Yes, ma'am.
then we will look to see how we can
Okay.
provide that
Okay.
help to
Well,
them.
great, good opportunity. Now, if a parent, like you talked about the great bargain that we have here with Suffolk Parks and Rec for the services that we provide, and of course that can be said with a lot of programs that Parks and Rec provides. But a parent that's considering this, what would you tell them if they're thinking about this and maybe on the fence? What suggestions would you make to them as far as to get them to participate in either of these programs, depending upon the age of their student?
Out of school time is the most crucial time in a child's life. When they get home, when they get out of school, we try not to provide a school after school environment.
Right.
When your kids come to our program, we want them to socialize and have fun and make friends and just have an area of where they can just be themselves.
Right.
If I was talking to a parent right now, I would say register your child for our programs. They will be safe. We have a strict discipline policy that we try to follow, and we try to maintain ratios with our staff, and we just try to do what's best for the youth.
Now, as far as when school is out, because obviously, like you mentioned, half days, and sometimes schools are out for vacation or whatever like that. How does that work with your programs in relation to the schools being closed as far as for actual school?
Well, we understand that parents still have to go to work even though the kids are out of school. So what we've done was we've come up with 3 days throughout the whole entire school schedule, and we have what we call kids on play days, where we will open up from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the whole entire day, and you are able to bring your child to the program for that day. The cost for that one day is $10. It's a separate cost from our regular monthly fee, because we're going to provide different activities. We are still in the process of programming those days, but we are offering it for 3 days out the school year.
And I guess probably a good place to find out more information about that, visit the Suffolk Parks and Rec website.
Yes.
You get a lot of great information there. But if someone wanted a contact number to talk with someone, I know obviously you mentioned all the different recreation supervisors of the locations. Is there another contact number as well, just if you had general questions about these type programs?
Yes, you can contact me. My phone number is 757-514-4501.
Okay, and again, you mentioned registration, which is actually already underway, but you can really register at each individual site as far as wherever your child would be participating in,
that
correct?
is correct.
Now, can they also come to the Parks and Rec Administration Office to do that as well, or perhaps do that online, or how is that set up?
We kind of prefer them to register at the site.
Got it, okay.
That way they can get a feel for the site that they're registering their child for. They can get a feel for the supervisor and some of the staff members that's working there, and then we have a hands-on of how many kids we have registered. If there's a concern where a parent is unable to get to the site, then just please do call us, and we will try our best to work with you.
Got it. And again, we mentioned, of course, the website having all this information on there as well. We're going to have all the contact numbers and everything on the screen. So again, if you need to get more information, certainly the people you need to contact and work with. And we're also probably going to put those addresses up there for the recreation site so that they need to know where that's located. Maybe they're new to Suffolk, so they're not quite sure the community will pinpoint those locations.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, Tamara, thank you for being with us today.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to a great 2013-2014 school year and the great before and after school programs offered through Suffolk Parks and Recreation. And appreciate your leadership and heading up these programs and making sure everything flows just like it usually does, like clockwork.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks for watching this edition of On the Scene. We'll see you next time.